On today's episode of Pathmark Presents, I've got a very special guest with me here today. Please welcome Ben-Nun, and he is the founder and CEO of Adspace. He is your investor. He knows everything from growth analytics to marketing and digital marketing, and your go-to for in this realm. Dan, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to join us today. We're really excited to hear more about you and your company and get to learn more about the solutions and products you guys have in store as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, definitely. It's an honor. So for all our listeners out there, tell us about your company. What is it that you guys do overall for your clients, and what is the problems that you solve for your clients as well?
Absolutely. So quick background on myself and Adspace. I've been in the digital marketing space for over a decade. I initially started a digital marketing agency in the 2000s called Prescience. We eventually sold that agency in 2012. We did a lot of customer acquisition for consumer SaaS companies based in Tel Aviv, which is where the company was founded. I then started the Incas e-commerce brand in 2012, scaled that very rapidly from 2012 to 2016. It was authentic South American textile footwear. So it was a really cool brand, had an ethical component, a give back. We planted a tree for every pair sold. We eventually sold Incas, me and two co-founders, in 2016 to Marcus Lemonis, who's the CEO of Camping World, a publicly traded company. And then afterwards, I did my MBA at the University of Texas. And while I was there, I started doing a lot of consulting for other D2C brands. Based on my experience with Incas and with Prescience, I had a lot of experience helping brands scale and achieve better results with their performance marketing. And Adspace was launched in about 2018. We've consulted with over 100 brands now. We've worked with brands that are all the way from pre-revenue, venture-backed startups, all the way to enterprise-level e-commerce brands doing over 200 million a year. And everything in between. Everything we do is based on the 5 pillars of e-commerce. The 5 pillars is our own proprietary methodology that helps us successfully engage and get the best results for our clients in our consulting work. And those 5 pillars, I'll just mention them briefly because it's kind of our core of what we do. We analyze every brand based on these 5 areas, and we kind of try to rate the brands from 1 to 10 on these 5 pillars. And based on where the ratings are the weakest, that's where we focus our time and energy. And our theory is that by doing these 5 things well, any e-commerce brand can achieve scale and profitability. And those 5 things are product market fit, number 1, site experience and user experience, number 2, acquisition, number 3, lifecycle and retention, number 4, and reporting and analytics, number 5. And so within those 5 key areas, that's where we provide all of our services, and we try to identify where the brands are strongest and weakest within those 5 areas, and then focus our time and energy on fixing what needs to be fixed so that they can start scaling.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's incredible. And I really love to, I can see how, with the 5 pillars, it's very transparent across the company as well, and within your website. And I see it as well within the call to action. So I think it's great what you guys are doing. So I'm also quite curious because with your company, I know you guys are creating a lot of solutions for your clients and always helping them with whatever they need. Do you guys have any new projects that you're working on that you could share with our audience for them to keep their eyes peeled?
Absolutely. So one thing that we're really excited about is the launch of Growify.ai. This is our multi-channel marketing attribution tool that we've recently launched. And what that really enables us to do is that the 5th pillar, once again, it's product market fit, site experience, user experience, acquisition, lifecycle retention, reporting and analytics. And what we found was that most brands that we worked with were really weak in the reporting and analytics area. So we all use Google Analytics. They oftentimes had a Google Data Studio or Looker Studio dashboard that, sometimes was good, sometimes wasn't. And so what we realized was that we needed to create a piece of software that enabled us to connect your Facebook ads, your Google ads, Klaviyo, Shopify, all of your ad channels together and provide multi-channel marketing analytics. So kind of a CMO level dashboard that would help you identify the strengths and weaknesses of your business and drive long-term marketing initiatives across the company. And so we built that in-house. We've launched it. We're onboarding our first cohort of customers, and we've had super positive responses. It's basically a dashboard. It's almost like QuickBooks for marketing, right? Just like on your QuickBooks dashboard, you can see how much your company is making, how much you're losing, what you're spending on which expenses. And this enables you to do that from a marketing standpoint. You can set budgets, benchmarks, milestones, and drive initiatives all the way to completion so that you get the best results from your performance marketing campaigns.
Wow, that's incredible. So then for creating this tool so it's released right now. Is this the first one that you guys are planning to pretty much have right now in the market, or are there plans for like other products like this one to come like later in the next couple of years?
Yeah, so right now we're really focused on just launching this initial product from Growify. Growify is kind of a company that was built in Adspace. So we rolled out this software initially for our Adspace customers. They loved it. And so we kept developing it. We kind of created an MVP first in-house just to work with our own clients and create our own analytics software suite that our clients were using to help them with reporting and analytics. We got great response on that. We started investing more and more to build this out. And now we've kind of launched this as a separate company because there's just been incredible demand and incredible kind of feedback on how helpful it is. Some of the typical problems that a lot of our customers experience are that, they're advertising on Facebook, Google, TikTok, Snapchat, Pinterest, and making decisions around budget allocation becomes a complex mathematical formula because it's, marketing mix modeling. And so you really need to understand, if I were to spend $1 extra, should that $1 extra go to Facebook, Google, Pinterest, Snapchat, TikTok, and where will it actually have the biggest impact? Now, most people just look at ROAS, return on ad spend, but that can be deceiving because certain campaigns tend to be very bottom funnel focused. Yeah. And so those campaigns look exceptionally high when you're just looking at ROAS, but it actually may just be that the top funnel value where the person initially came in contact with the brand may have a very low ROAS on that campaign because that's a top funnel campaign. And then the bottom funnel campaign, which for example is a branded keyword search on Google, looks exceptionally high. So you would want to invest more in the branded, but that's not actually creating value for you because people are already familiar with the brand. They're searching for your brand name on Google. So what we're really trying to do is decipher how to create more value across the funnel from a performance marketing perspective by using some of the marketing mix modeling to help people make better budget allocation decisions and drive more revenue to their brand.
Wow, yeah, that's a huge issue that solves overall for a lot of agencies and just clients in general. So that is great. Now, you've walked me through the entire plan for what you guys have in store, and it's amazing what you guys are doing. But now we want to switch gears. We want to talk about you as a leader. So with your extensive background and your knowledge and everything that you have done, as well as, working in so many different, two main companies that you highlighted, tell us what a day looks like for you as being the founder and the CEO. What are things that you enjoy, things that you have learned, and any tips and insights you could share with our audience as well?
Definitely. So I like to start my day around 7 a.m., wake up, take a jog with my dog. That kind of always starts the day on the right foot, gets me into the right mindset. And then I typically am involved in a large amount of meetings from anywhere from around 8 to 9 a.m. all the way to 3 p.m. So I try to meet with my team. I try to meet with prospective clients. I try to meet with existing clients, making sure that I'm just providing as much support to my employees as possible, providing as much guidance to them, and also interacting with, future and existing clients as much as possible to make sure that they know that we're working hard on their behalf and getting them great results. Towards the end of the day, I tend to focus on kind of deep work. I feel like once I've kind of cleared my schedule of all of the meetings, everybody's kind of working and humming along, then I take my time to kind of dive into some deep projects myself. And then I cap my day off with a workout in the evenings right before sunset. So that's kind of the daily routine that works for me.
Great. That's awesome. And I think it's great, you've got a balance where it's like, okay, like starting the day, getting your workout in helps to set the tempo for the day, and ending it with, being able to decompress and de-stress. So that's great. Now, we're getting close to the end of our interview, and I'm going to ask you some rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So with marketing in general now, and with the realm that you guys currently serve, and with how diverse it is overall, how do you stay up to date with the trends? What are podcast articles that you listen to? Who do you follow? And who do you recommend for our audience to keep up to date with?
Yeah, so there's a tremendous amount of emails that are really relevant for D2C and marketing. CQ, Retail Brew, Marketing Brew. There's a whole new series of emails coming out on the Beehive platform, which is a really cool email allows you to set up your own newsletter, set up a hosted site where all of your newsletters are recorded online so people It's kind of, both an email sending platform and also a website building platform to really unify the folks who are, super focused on newsletters. So I subscribe to over, probably 30 emails that come to my inbox either once a week or once a day. I really feel that kind of, gives me the information I need to stay current on what's happening on the marketing front. And to be quite honest with you, I'm not as much as a podcast listener, as much as an audiobook listener. So I kind of really prefer to dive deep into, great audiobooks. I'm currently listening to the biography of Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson, which is a great book. It's, a long one and really goes super deep into detail on his life. So, that's kind of maybe my more deep stuff is the audiobooks. And then the more topical stuff, I would say, is just reading the email newsletters.
Yeah, definitely. No, thanks for sharing that as well. And Marketing Brew is one of the ones I subscribe to, and I love it. Definitely helps with staying up to date. So now, if there were no boundaries in technology, what would be the one thing that you would want to have fixed in your role today?
There's no boundaries in technology. What would be the one thing I would want fixed in my role?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I think that it's interesting. It's an interesting question. I would say that if ChatGPT could be trained to essentially respond on your behalf to most emails, which I think it probably will in maybe 3 to 4 years. Right now, ChatGPT is obviously a very kind of generalized platform. But if there was a way to bring that into a more, like, for example, you would have your own ChatGPT that kind of mimicked your way of speaking and your kind of, would read through your emails, all the emails you've written over the past 10 years and formulate using that data set how you typically respond. I think that could be great. And that could probably remove maybe an hour or two of my day every day from just automatically responding to 90% of emails and maybe marking 10% of them as high priority and needing my actual attention. So that could be an interesting one. And I think there's also a lot of automation and a lot of ChatGPT kind of style technology and functionality that's going to be coming out for the ad platform. So still to this day, I mean, Facebook, since Facebook ads came out, 12 years ago and all the way to today, it's become incredibly intelligent at targeting the right people. So I remember when we were first using Facebook ads, we used to have to segment hundreds of audiences and run hundreds of different ad sets to kind of figure out which audience was the best. Now it's really automated that process. And what I would expect to see and hope to see from both Google and Facebook in the near future is automating the creative process. There's already a tremendous amount of tools that are kind of doing a lot of AI-driven creative for the ad platforms. And I would imagine Facebook and Google to kind of be adopting some of those technologies to kind of enhance the creative and create better creative. It's never going to be able to film a $50,000 commercial that is fully custom with actors and but it could probably get pretty close to doing some of those things as far as what I've seen of the initial kind of AI technologies. So that would be a few things that I think would really help both my role as a CEO and the performance marketing sector as a whole.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for sharing that with us as well. And I agree, especially where the creative industry were to have a tool like that, it will make things a lot easier in terms of like working smarter, not harder. And then how can they be able to, focus on other projects as well and be able to maximize their output altogether.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So now we're at the end of our interview today. And I want to thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. But I also want to give you the last word. If anyone were to forget about everything we've talked about in this interview today, what is the one thing you want our audience to remember about you and Adspace overall?
When it comes down to it, we are one of the best agencies in the world at doing what we do, which is helping D2C e-commerce brands scale. We have, all of the services needed. We're kind of a one-stop shop to help e-commerce D2C brands achieve the long-term growth that they want. So if anyone listening to this needs help scaling their D2C brand, please come talk to us at Adspace. This is what we do, and we're very, very good at it. The other thing I would say is check out growify.ai, www.growify.ai. It's a multi-channel marketing attribution tool that helps you save hundreds of hours every month by instead of doing manual kind of data pulling and crunching of numbers in Excel, it does it all for you and presents you with all of the data, all of the dashboards you would need to run your entire marketing campaigns in your marketing team. think of it as the QuickBooks of marketing, just like you would need to do a tremendous amount of work in Excel to align all of your expenses and clean all of your books and see a kind of composite dashboard of your financial picture. Growify does that exactly for the marketing side of every business. So thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure talking, and would love to speak to anybody who's interested in learning more about Adspace or Growify.
Amazing. Thank you so much again. And for all our listeners out there, for all of your needs for e-commerce, having to scale up, and for this new tool, check out Dan's new product and go to adspace.com. All right. Thank you again so much. And for all of our listeners out there, check us out next week on PathMonk Presents.